Hey everyone, so today we have GTR disc and pads change as well as braided lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you from start to finish what to do. Cracked all the brake lines as you can see inside here, Reagan. I loosened all those, need to clean them all up, get all the sand and the grit and everything out. Then we'll be pulling the calipers off, pulling the brake pads out, cleaning the caliper, pulling the whole disc off, cleaning the hub, new disc, caliper, pads, bleed. Another common issue with these calipers is the pins. So basically these slide inside here on either end like that to hold helps with keeping the pads in position. And a lot of the time these will like wear down or get clogged up, and you can see how bad these are. And it causes problems and noises on the caliper. So on all four corners we'll be cleaning all of these. As I've already seen, none of them are bent or damaged. So we'll just be cleaning all of these up when we refit the caliper. Okay, so after the pins are out, I'm removing the whole caliper. So I need to take out these two bolts here which hold the caliper onto the hub. So undo both of these, whole caliper comes off. There's the feed line for the brake line at the back here, Reagan, if you look in there. See here at the back, I don't know if you're able, underneath maybe. See this one here? I undo that, then take the whole caliper off, and then I clean the whole caliper with the pads out, check the pistons, check all the seals around the pistons and everything are all good, and then disc off. So once you have these two bolts out, you'll see there's a 12mm bolt here at the back, which is the last one that holds the caliper on. Take that off, out, and the caliper comes off. Okay, so taking off disc and pads is relatively the same on all cars. It's just minor things that will differ. But on these GTRs, common things, especially on the rear, is they get quite a bad lip on them like these. And you can see inside all of these, they're all full of carbon. So they're not really doing much about cooling. And another thing that will happen is from all of these drills, there's like spider cracks that will happen from all of them, and it really weakens the disc. Another thing is on the inside, the brake wear on the outer pad to the inner pad is not the same, so the inner side will look really bad or rusty or wear more than what the outer edge will. To take off the rear disc, you need to wind in the rear brake shoes, the handbrake. So if I had the disc I could show you, but on the disc you'll see there's a hole that normally has like a grommet in it. You pop that out and then turn the disc till where you get to the adjuster, and you wind this all the way in, that it pulls it all the way together, so it takes the pressure off of the hub. So when you wind it in like that, it takes the pressure off and you're able to pull the disc off, and then pin and spec, possibly maybe you'll change shoes at the same time, or check any of the springs and clips. See all these springs and clips here, sometimes they can corrode, and yeah, that's how you do the handbrake. And then when you put the disc back on and you want to readjust the handbrake, obviously the handbrake should be down, don't have it up. Put the disc on, wind this fully out, and wind it back in until you can just turn the disc. That's a good setting or good feel for how you should have your handbrake, because then obviously it will grip when you want it. It won't be like to the roof and everything, you know. Okay, so we've put the braided brake lines in, as you can see. So it comes from the car here at the back up into this mounting point over here, looped across onto this adapter mounting point, which goes back into the original hard line, which runs around the back of the hub and up to here, which will go onto the coilover. The benefits of this braided line, as you can see, here's the original. It's normal pipe. So obviously when this gets hot, say you're on a tractor or something, this will, when you press a brake pedal, the fluid will expand in here and expand this pipe and give you a really bad pedal and bad brakes. Whereas you can see these are all braided. So can you zoom in there, Reagan? So you won't experience any of that, and it will give you a really good pedal feel. So next what I need to do is just go around and tighten all the ends of the new brake lines, front and rear, and then we'll move on to the discs. Alright, so calipers all back on, braided lines are all on. What I'm doing now, because I fully cleaned all the grease off of the calipers, inside, around the pistons, everything, put grease on the back and the sides of the pad, slot it inside of the caliper, and that's your pads in. So now next we need to put the 2 pins in here. You see, Reagan, with this pressure clip here, which goes over. Hold the pads nice together, stop any rattles. Okay, so brake pads are in, all the pins and everything are in on the caliper. I've now got the bleeder bottle here so we can bleed the brakes. So what we're going to do is we're starting from the furthest point from the master to the closest. And in doing that, it's going to help us to get all the air out the lines, because obviously each caliper has 2 nipples, so it's each bank. And if we just go, for instance, say we went and bled from that corner, then went to that corner, then to this, and the air will just be pushed like this in the car and you won't get it out. Then you'll think, oh, the pedal's good. You're going to be driving down the road and then press the brakes and be like, become the Flintstones, you know, on the floor. Alright, so the process that we're using today to bleed the brakes is going to use this bottle with someone in the car. We also have a pressure bleeder, so you can just put pressure in the system, or a vacuum bleeder should I say, and then it will just draw the liquid through the system. But we'll use this today as we've got Liam who's going to be pumping. So I'm going to crack this nipple, this bleed nipple on this outer side with the bottle here, top up the reservoir, and I'm going to ask Liam to do 5 pumps just to see what happens first, how much air bubbles and so on. So we'll do 5 pumps. Then I'll tell him to hold the pedal down, I'll close the bleed nipple, and then I'll tell him to release the pedal. Then I'll go check the fluid at the front of the reservoir, then I'll come to this inner side, and then I'll do the exact same. Then once I've finished that, I'll come back to this outside and I'll do 5 again just to be 100% sure, because this is the furthest point. And then I'll go that wheel, that wheel, that wheel, that wheel, or however many wheels you got. GTR's finished now. Had all brake pads done right round, all brake discs done, braided brake lines all round, and a full fluid flush front to back. If you want your GTR done, or your GTR brakes inspected, or you're just not sure about anything, give us a call, come and see us. More than happy to help. See you next time.